Have you been in the house way too long? Are you looking for great family fun? Do you want to get outside and try something new and adventurous? Then look at Butter and Egg Adventures in Troy, Alabama. Ages 5 and up can enjoy zip lines, climbing wall, aerial courses, outdoor laser tag, axe throwing, canoeing, pedal boating, and more. 2 or more people can make a reservation by calling 334-670-9954.
For those teachers out there, get your kids outside by bringing them to Butter and Egg Adventures in Troy, Alabama for a great field trip.
When Mitchell Nissan assembled the More Force to help the car buyers of Enterprise, we looked for the most powerful people to avenge the average deal. Like Twan kicking those high prices to the curb, and Truth bringing honest savings to the Wiregrass. Then I add our Customer Advantage package to every new purchase at no extra charge. Together, Mitchell Nissan is the More Force. More, it's what we do.
Forevermark Diamonds. Beautiful, rare, responsibly sourced. Available at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. My name is Mike Amos. We're coming to you live from our studios on South Brundy Street in Troy, Alabama, where it is Tuesday, just 4 or 5 days before the first college kickoff in Veterans Memorial Stadium in Troy. And of course, hopefully, they'll be able to get that game in despite the terrible weather that the people have faced in Louisiana. But of course, we've got a lot to talk about. Troy's women's soccer, soccer team lost to a real good Auburn team a few days ago, and now they come back and get on the right direction this time with a volleyball match against the UAB, and Troy beats them 3-0. So big win for Troy University's volleyball team, and as they move on now to a big tournament in Tuscaloosa with the Crimson Tide of Alabama and a couple other teams. Of course, it's football time of the year. Everybody's getting excited. Of course, we've got a big one coming up in Troy this Saturday afternoon. Troy University going up against Southern University of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and hopefully that game's going to be a good one, and hopefully that they'll come in here and bring their marching band. The plan was they will bring their marching band, which is one of the best in the country, to go head-to-head with the Sound of the South, and hopefully that's still the case. We won't know until later on in the week. But it's and then, of course, Alabama looks to be in good shape going up against Miami in what should be one of the top games of the week. And then Auburn against the Zips of Akron. So I know a lot of folks are getting excited about that. I talked to somebody just a while ago. He said, "Man, oh man, you don't talk enough about Auburn." Well, I'll tell you one thing: their camp has been about as quiet as you can be in a football team, and that might be the way their coach wants it. But I'll go with this right here: Auburn, Auburn, Auburn. The Auburn Tigers getting ready to do battle with the Akron Zips. From Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama, it's Auburn and Akron. 6 o'clock kickoff from Jordan-Hare Stadium. That game can be seen on ESPN Plus. So everybody's getting ready except for a few guys, and of course they'll be set and ready to go by kickoff. Bill Rice has entered the game for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, what was your number, Bill?
12.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Number 12, Bill Rice Jr. enters the game for the first time tonight, and there goes the final gun. And we're going to take a break.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Did you know at Wiley Sanders Truck Line, after 30 days of employment, that you can join our 401k retirement plan? That's right, we match it up to 4%. That's gross pay, 4% after 30 days of employment. Drive a Buck Division truck for Wiley Sanders Truck Line, be home twice a week and every weekend. You know, if these wheels roll at Wiley Sanders Truck Line, you make money. Home twice a week, every weekend. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, $1,000 sign-on bonus. Come drive for the best today.
Forevermark Diamonds. Beautiful, rare, responsibly sourced. Available at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry.
Bishop Sycamore. IMG Academy beat them 59-0.
Oh, boy. Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram Trucks on the bypass. Wanted to say I had a nice visit with my good bud Jason Gregory, and he's bringing in more and more cars as we speak. And boy, let me tell you, they're dealing like very few people have ever been dealing with cars in Troy and Pike County. So Jason invites you all to come by and test drive any vehicle that you like, and hey, you'll drive away because the price is unreal. $29 down, $98 a month. You can't beat it, Rice. What kind of car are you gonna get?
Just one with four wheels and
a row.
A front and back seat, and Jason has a whole lot of pretty ones like those. I mean, I'm not really super loyal to any one brand or company.
Yeah, well, he can get you anything you want. He's got every car that you can think of on the line right now. But they won't be there for long at those prices. And of course, we appreciate Jason and all the things he does and has done since he's been in Troy. Came here from Columbus, Georgia, and hit the ground running, and he never stopped since. And of course, his three girls are top rodeo participants, and he said everywhere he goes, it's got to be a rodeo, man. He said his girls have gone crazy over rodeo, and more power to them. And I know Jason's proud of them because all of them are outstanding performers.
Well, that is.
They're young, awesome. Little girls. They're little girls, and
they've got a passion for it. Yeah, and they're good at it. Good for them.
One of them's just 9 years old, and she's competing and everywhere. And of course, the cutest thing be, and I'm sure they're proud, awfully proud parents. Of course, we got a lot of.
Wonder if Auburn coach Brian Hartson and Jason have met yet. wonder if Jason has met him. I know he's a big Auburn fan.
Well, I'll tell you this about Harsin, and Harsin has kept a tight lip, buddy. I mean, you talk about he has not allowed many people to interview his coaches or anything. He's keeping it down home, I tell you.
Well, Larry Blaney would like that. That was one of his favorite quotes.
Keep it down home, cuz.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we've got a lot of football this week.
You want to do the starting lineups for the Auburn Tigers?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Auburn Tigers.
At quarterback, Bo Nix. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah, well, that was a done deal before it all started now.
Is Bo named for Bo? Is he named after Bo Jackson?
I don't know.
But his dad probably was a huge Auburn fan, Patrick Nix.
Okay.
And remember
that big Eufaula upset over Phoenix City too.
Yeah, Phoenix City beat them 33-0. But did you notice they said that 20 players off of Eufaula's team could not play because of the virus?
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, wow. Well, that is.
You didn't see that, Mike?
That's the rest of the story.
Your backup will be the LSU transfer, T.J. Finley. Running back, Hank Bigsby. Everybody thinks he's going to be one of the best backs in the SEC. His backup will be Sean Shivers. He's famous for running over the Alabama guy at the goal line and knocking his helmet off. At tight end, John Samuel Shanker. And then after that...
Can you tell us a little bit about these guys? Where's that guy from? Where's Shanker's from?
He doesn't tell. He just says he's a senior.
Yeah.
Luke Gill, sophomore, or Tyler Fromm. That's Jake Fromm, the former quarterback's brother.
Oh, really? Is that Alabama now? I mean, at Auburn. No, excuse me.
What position is Jake's little brother play?
Tight end.
Okay.
Auburn wide receiver at the X will be Cedric Jackson. He's a senior. Wide receiver H will be Javarius Johnson, sophomore. Wide receiver Z will be Demetrius Robertson. He's the big Georgia transfer everybody's been talking about. He can fly, senior. Left tackle Austin Troxell, senior. Let's see, left guard Brandon Cancel, senior, or Alex Jackson, senior. Keep in mind, we're saying a lot of seniors.
I know their offensive line is laden with seniors. I've noticed that in my research.
Center Nick Bram, senior. Right guard Keon Jones, sophomore, or Tashawn Manning, senior. And then right tackle Rodarius Ham, senior, or Brandon Coffey, senior.
Yeah.
We move to the Auburn Tigers defense. This is their starters going into the 2021 season. Defensive end Cody Wooten, sophomore. Nose tackle transfer from UAB, Tony Fair, senior. Defensive tackle Marcus Harris, sophomore. Defensive end Derek Hall, junior. Mike linebacker for the Auburn Tigers. This guy's been a star the last couple of years. Owen Popo, junior. And then also Chandler Wooten, senior. Will linebacker. This guy's one of the top linebackers in the SEC. Jacoby McClain, senior. And then a star Chandler Wooten, senior, or Cam Riley, sophomore. Rounding out your quarterbacks for Auburn, Roger McQuarrie, senior. He's been a star the last couple of years. And then cornerback Nehemiah Pritchard, junior. And then safety, my favorite name in the SEC, Smoke Monday.
Smoke Monday, yeah.
Yeah, Smoke is supposed to be one of the best players in the conference.
And then at safety, Darius Knighton, senior. And then on special teams, you can't do any better than this. Anders Carlson is back at kicker at Auburn. And punter is Oscar Chapman or Aiden Marshall. Long snapper Jacob Waterbaum. Kick returner will be Donovan Coughlin or Nehemiah Pritchard. Punt returner will be Javarius Johnson or Demetrius Robinson, the Georgia transfer. So that's your starting lineups for the Auburn Tigers.
All right. And Mike, I never heard of any of them except for Bo Nix. Bo Nix is the only one I've ever heard of.
Smoke. You haven't heard of Smoke Robinson?
Well, maybe Smoke, but
I think you've heard of Hank Bixby.
But I'll tell you, yeah, you're right. The Bixby and Bo Nix. I'll say this: Auburn's going to be good. Auburn is going to be good. So get ready for them. They're going to be good.
That's your premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Auburn Tigers.
Well, I got one question. I got more than that, but I'll limit it to one. I remember Auburn having this big, huge tight end that weighed 300 pounds last year. That was a novelty. They had this huge tight end that could move pretty good. Is that guy still on the team? Is he?
I'm not seeing Derek Pegues' name on the team. I do remember Pegues.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. All right, something's up then.
Well.
I don't know if he transferred out or not.
Well, they open it up at 6 o'clock this Saturday afternoon, and that game can be seen on ESPN Plus. Mike, I have got to have somebody to give me ESPN Plus.
Yeah, you need it.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
$4.99, man.
Well, I lost my 70-foot TV from downstairs. I lost it, so I only have one in the house now.
You're going to get it back, though, aren't you?
I don't know. I won't by game time. I don't believe. But
I was going to come over to your house and watch.
Well, I've got a 65-inch upstairs. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I was wanting to watch it on my big screen. Yeah.
Oh man, Mike, this is just awesome.
Yeah, Danny Lee put that TV in.
The Dandaroo, yeah, I got to get the Dandaroo back. And I'll tell you this, Dandy is listening and watching very closely to our show today, and there's very few people.
Danny messed up and learned that he got good at all that TV installation. So I bet he's done it for a dozen people.
Oh yeah, he's done it for a lot of people. Of course, we've got.
Here's your Alabama game day. Alabama-Miami game COVID protocols announced for the football game at 2:30 in Atlanta. Anybody going to the game? Less than a week before kickoff, organizers for the Alabama season opening game in Miami announced the COVID-19 protocols. So, as a result, masks will not be required for those in the general seating bowl. However, the leaf-based mask wearing is still strongly encouraged throughout the stadium and will be required at any enclosed spaces, including the club spaces, press box, retail store, and other enclosed rooms.
So if you're going to go to the concession stand, you probably need to wear your mask, don't you?
Yes, if media members were required to provide proof of vaccination or negative test within 72 hours of the game, that will not be a requirement for entry for the general public attending the game. So those are some rules that are going to have to be followed to participate.
What time is the kickoff, Mike?
It's actually early, 2:30 on ABC.
2:30 on ABC, so that'll be one of the highlight games.
In Southern is at what time? 5:30, 6?
6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock, and
as far as we know, they're going to play. I guess we haven't heard anything out of Troy University.
But you know, Mike, yeah. I hated to be like that on the show yesterday, but I felt like that storm was heading right into the Baton Rouge area. But now they say
but they were they're on the west side. I think
that's what I heard. That's what I heard. That, but the problem is, once you get on the road on your buses, will there be enough room to go? You know, if you know, is there going to be a lot of flooding going on?
They might have to take a roundabout. They might not be able to go south.
And then, but right now, the game is scheduled to be played, and I look forward to it. Of course, Alabama.
I imagine Troy is paying for them not only to come and play, they're probably paying for their marching band to come and perform as well. So it's a pretty good money-making event.
You know, a big game coming up is Notre Dame at Florida State.
Yes, that's looking
now, a lot of people think Florida State's going to be better with the new quarterback. And, Mike, what is your feeling on that?
Well, watching local sports down here last night, which is probably the worst sports you can ever watch.
I know it. They don't do much, do they?
Out of Panama City. I will tell you, though, it was pretty funny. They were interviewing the Fort St. Joe head coach, and he had a familiar name, Detroit fans, Tanner Jones.
Oh, yeah, Tanner Jones, former quarterback, yeah.
Former quarterback. Yeah, you remember he came back and scored threw a late, meaningless pass to some people against Georgia one day in Athens, but to a lot of fans in the stands, it was like winning the game.
Won a lot of money for a lot of Troy fans. Is that right?
Good job,
yeah,
Tanner.
I think the final score ended up being 44-34 when they scored that touchdown late.
Oh, boy.
Larry actually, I'll never forget, Coach Blaney called timeout with 10 seconds left to get that last playoff.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Well, that scores. The scores last forever. You look at the media guide, and that doesn't sound too bad. 44-34.
Yeah,
I'm glad they did it.
And I think at one time he was like a third-string quarterback too.
Yeah.
So you want that young guy and all those young players to score.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And another game
But anyway, they mentioned that Milton is a coach starter, whatever that means, was another guy.
But I'm tickled though about this Florida State Notre Dame game. I'm gonna be. That's gonna be a game. Some people think that Florida State, with their new quarterback back, is going to be a much more competitive team. But
what do you think?
Well, you know Notre Dame though. Notre Dame's supposed to wear them out. I don't know.
You see that Phil Steele magazine I brought you back today?
Yeah, I know it. You're right.
Don't you think I've researched Notre Dame?
I know it. I know.
What you think? Do you want me to hear what I think about it?
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, they lost a lot of players. They lost most players. Most teams got a ton of players coming back because of the COVID rules, but Notre Dame actually lost a lot of starters. But Phil Steele still says they're going to be really good. That they weren't going to be one of his surprise teams. So I lean towards my man Phil Steele and think that Notre Dame's going to be, 10-2, 11-1 again. But so you can look at it both ways. And Florida State might have a chance because they have a lot more players coming back than Notre Dame does.
Well, that's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be on Sunday.
Florida State has 13 Division I transfers.
Boy, I knew they did something that's supposed to be getting better.
And I think Notre Dame has their quarterback is a transfer from Wisconsin, I believe. I
don't know
Notre Dame,
who the quarterback is.
Notre Dame has a transfer quarterback too. Everybody has a transfer quarterback almost.
Well, we've got a couple of games.
Detroit University has released their running back.
Who are they?
They had an article yesterday, full week running back coach was announcing the breakdown of the running backs. It looks like Tamani Valdez, a kid out of Marietta that was really good last year. And then the 6-year running back, B.J. Smith, will get the bulk of the carries for the Trojans. Also, Devontae Woods will play a lot on third down. He's out of Gaston City. And this guy only rushed for about 1,000 yards one year. Is now fourth-string running back, D.K. Billingsley, who I saw is bulked up to like a 5'11", 230.
Yeah, big bag.
Fourth-string will be your fourth-string running back, and then your fifth-string running back will be Charles Strong.
Yeah.
Transferred in Detroit from Texas A&M.
I know it, and he was a big bag, real big bag.
Yeah, I met him one time at the Trojan Dining. Mike and I went over there. We need to go.
We need to go back. We need to go back over there. You're right.
And he was a real nice guy. I hope he gets a little more playing time this year. It doesn't sound like he is.
Yeah, I mean, Troy did not rush for many yards last year. They've got to have more balance this year.
Well, I tell you, they're not playing a bunch of crybabies. They're playing a team that's got a little ability and they can run. In fact, there's a lot of pro prospects right now on Southern University's team. Yeah, but a couple of games that sticks out at me, Mike, coming up this weekend. Ohio State at Minnesota. And that's a 7 o'clock kickoff. I'm sure that game will be televised. Coastal Carolina plays Citadel. Won't be much there. And and then on Friday they've got North Carolina going up against Virginia Tech. That should be a pretty good game.
That is. I can tell you from the lines on some of those. North Carolina's a 5.5 point favorite. I think Florida State is getting about a touchdown over Notre Dame. Notre Dame's about a touchdown favorite over Florida State. Ohio State is a 13.5 point favorite over Minnesota.
Well, you know, of course, the big game of them all, though, is number 3 Clemson against number 5 Georgia. That's got to be the top game out there, I would think.
Recent years, heck, I mean, that is
a 6:30 kick
that could win the national title or get in the playoffs playing in the first week of the season.
So if you like football, I promise you, we've got it for you right here at Troy Cable. And Clemson and Georgia, number 3 against number 5.
Who do you like in that game, Mike? Have you not? You need to read your magazine
I like Georgia in that game. I like the Georgia Bulldogs.
Any reason?
Well, the last time I saw Clemson was in the playoffs, and I didn't think they looked very good at all. And they've got a crazy name quarterback. I should say that, but
he's the big guy from Samoa.
You would say he's a crazy name quarterback, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
DJ Ungalungala.
And he's the starting quarterback for Clemson. Is that right?
Yeah, I was going to mention Troy's wide receiver depth chart has come out too. It looks like these are going to be some familiar names, outside, inside receivers. Right now, the top guys coming back for Troy will be Reggie Todd, Tez Johnson, the speedster out of Pennsylvania Valley, Luke Whittemore, who was hurt a lot last year, but Luke apparently has earned a starting spot. Other names to watch, they'll be in the mix. It's Deshaun Stoudemire out of Georgia. Montez Brown, he's out of Huntsville, Marcus Rogers, and then there's a kid out of Oxford, not Oxford, but Aniana named Jaden Warden. That's supposed to provide depth as well, including a player that Troy got from the junior college ranks, Karan Griffin Isom. He was in the United States Marine Corps.
Yeah.
27 years old.
Oh, boy.
Troy lost Kalen Geiger to transfer to Texas Tech, and then I think this is the biggest thing. Trey Eford and Brett Clark earned their degrees and retired from football, but both of those guys, Trey Eford and Brett Clark, caught a lot of balls at Troy, especially Eford.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, we'll be watching it close.
Reggie Todd is 6'5", 215 pounds, so he's got to be your go-to.
He's a definitely a bona fide pro prospect.
He looks the part. Mike and I had a good conversation with him.
Yeah, nice guy too. You're right, nice guy. But
he knows to get breakfast at Bird Drugs.
With that wingspan and jumping ability, I mean, that's the guy that you got to be able to just throw it up to in the end zone.
Yeah, he was a great basketball player too in high school.
Exactly right. Another game on down the line this week has Wisconsin against number 19 Penn State. That's an 11 o'clock start, early morning start for that game. And I say when Penn State can't white it out, they're in trouble. Do you think that they'll try to white this game out?
Well, they're playing in Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're playing in. Well, it says here that I can't tell. Yeah, they're.
Well, I don't know.
I where that game's been
sporting
played.
Interest in some of these games, and that is Bill's upset game of the week. Is Penn State's going to beat Wisconsin?
All right. Well, I would think of okay, and LSU and UCLA play late. That's going to be a good late game. It's a 7:30 kickoff as the Bengal Tigers journey to UCLA. UCLA. You're telling me they're pretty good.
Well, they lost a lot of close games last year, and they have a lot of players coming back. So that's two things. My theory is that your luck evens out over time. So if you've had a bad year, if you lost a lot of close games the year before, you're probably going to maybe win some of those next year. Plus, it shows you were competitive, and so the schedules can be missed. I think Troy. You look at Troy last year. Troy lost 3 games by 1 touchdown or less.
That's right.
Maybe 4.
Yeah.
Troy could have had a much better record last year. Now, they also won some close games, so it works both ways.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hear this. Maybe the top game of the of Saturday was going to pit the Texas Longhorns versus Louisiana Lafayette, and ladies and gentlemen of the Sun Belt Conference. A lot of people, think that Louisiana Lafayette can upset Texas. What are you thinking?
I agree. I mean, a lot of people are interested in this game and think the same thing.
Well,
I think that Texas is recruiting four and 5-star prospects, and Louisiana is not. So I'd be very surprised if Louisiana goes in there and then pulls the upset, but I'd be impressed if they could.
Mike, what's the line on that?
That line's 7.5 down from 9.5, over under 57.5. I think a lot of points will be scored.
Well, and the thing about it too,
Lafayette's quarterback's back for the 6th year.
and he is a good one. I tell you, you read the stats on him, he is really good.
Louisiana, I've researched them, all my Sun Belt teams, and they got just about their whole team back. So you see why Coach Napier didn't leave to go to another program. He's got not only he had a very good team last year, and they're all back. Including this quarterback.
And also don't forget that Texas is coached by the guy that had a lot to do with Alabama winning the national championship last year.
Yeah, boy, he was worth about 2 touchdowns.
So he got a big salary increase.
Interesting game at the Sun Belt is Texas State will host Baylor. I don't know if people realize that Texas State lost a lot of real close games. They got a lot better on offense last year. Baylor was horrible under Dave Aranda. They're playing Baylor at home. Baylor's a 13.5-point favorite.
So are they playing at Texas State?
At Texas State.
That's the biggest game they've had ever,
this
probably.
Sounds like Michael Amos's. This might be Michael Amos's upset.
I'm not saying upset.
The points.
I would maybe buy a point, give Texas State plus 14.5.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to be a fun week of college football, and look out for that Louisiana Lafayette team. They're pretty darn good.
They go by
and Texas there's something about Texas that they're having a hard time getting up for a game like this.
Actually, Troy will be against Southern on ESPN 3, so I'll be able to watch that.
Okay.
Texas is, you can bet long shots to win the national championship. I picked 2. You can get real good odds, so it's worth losing $10 over. I picked Texas, and I picked Central Florida with Coach Malzahn. Texas lost 3 games last year that they went down to the last possession. They could have won. They've got a great running back. Sarkisian, is a quarterback coach guru, and they've got a new quarterback, but he's supposed to be good. And they play in the sorry Big 12. Don't you think that Texas' season will come down to 1 game like it always does against Oklahoma? So my logic was, Texas gets on the roll. Sarkisian's as good as we think he is. They actually slip by Oklahoma. Then they're in the playoffs, and who knows what happens when you're in the playoffs.
Another thing about Louisiana.
Also, don't sleep on this game. University of Texas San Antonio will be at Illinois. Illinois coming off that big win for Brett Bielema. A lot of people don't realize, but Texas San Antonio won 8 games last year. Illinois is a 6-point favorite at home. I wouldn't be surprised if Texas San Antonio beat Illinois.
You mean they're only a 6-point favorite over Illinois?
No, Illinois is only a 6-point favorite at home against Texas San Antonio.
That's what I meant. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I got you.
I like that. That's good research. Keep them coming.
I got these guys.
I got to write them down. You had Texas. You had 2 Texas schools.
Yeah. You might better listen in close this week.
Clemson is now 3.5 against Georgia. That game will be on ABC at 6:30, right in the middle of the Troy game.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I got it at 3, and then I early on, and then I bought it down to 2.5. So I was ahead of.
Of course, Troy's kickoff.
Also a huge game. Southern Miss travels to South Alabama. Southern Miss